Doing great. I focused the entire off season on getting my feet right, and I've been working with this doctor down there and been focusing a lot on my treatment. But not only that, also strengthening those areas of my body that in the past I paid no attention because I never had problems with my feet before, right? But every injury teaches you something about your body, and then you start learning, and then you start improving. And this year I feel strong, I feel ready to go, and I feel like it's gonna be a great year to be a Minnesota Twin.
The Twins have a new explosive weapon.
Well, they sure do if he's healthy. Carlos Correa's season last year abbreviated by injury, but man, when he's on the field, there's no denying his impact.
This is one of the great players in the game.
Indeed, he is, and I think we kind of have lost sight of that based on his relative unavailability last year rather, after the All-Star break. Didn't play a lot in the second half of the season, but Carlos Correa reporting that the plantar fasciitis is being managed. That's a tricky injury, man, because it's taken down everybody from Mark McGwire to Joe DiMaggio and the list.
Albert went through that.
Albert, right. It's something that we don't understand unless we've been through it, from what I'm told, and I have friends and people that I know that have gone through it. And it's one of those things that's frustrating, too, because beyond therapeutic exercise and rest, there's not that magic pill that you can take and get over your plantar fasciitis.
And it comes back.
Right.
You know? I mean, I've been described to that it's almost like your foot is splitting in half in the bottom.
Ugh.
That's the type of pain that is in.
Well, if Carlos is healthy, that means a whole lot for the Minnesota Twins. And I think it's interesting to take a look at some numbers of his. We had Keith Costas break it down this way because his counting stats weren't great because he played in only 86 games. But if you do rate stats, how about this? Projected over 162 based on his productivity last year, again, which was abbreviated. He's going to be top 5 across the board in just about everything except for homers. I mean, these are among shortstops. This is amazing productivity, and this is the kind of player he is when healthy. The when healthy is the big caveat, right? Because he feels great now. He's managing it. He doesn't expect it to be a problem, but the season's long. And I think for Rocco Baldelli and the staff, figuring out the balance between rest and performance is going to be so important for this player.
Yeah, and that's the challenge with Carlos is he's such a lift to the team that when you take him out of the lineup, it's a big drop-off.
Yeah.
You know, Royce Lewis, they thought might be that guy that could move there, but you got to put him at third. So who replaces Carlos Correa?
Yeah.
And when you do this contract, when they bid down on the contract, they're hoping he stays healthy. I don't think plantar fasciitis was one of the ideas that they thought might pop in.
Right.
But it's a big drop-off when he's not in the lineup.
Well, you mentioned the rest of these guys, like Royce Lewis, like Byron Buxton. I think there's this odd narrative that the Twins stink when they're not out there. I mean, I think this is interesting context. I get it. There were only 27 games with all those guys in the lineup at the same time last year, which is staggering. I can't believe it was that small a number. However, they were productive in those other games without. I know it's not fair because you're talking about only 27 games. Point is, you want all those guys together, but they managed without them. Not the same product. I get it.
You think what they would be with them. You know, can you imagine?
That's an even better way to contextualize it. Right. And, put Jose Miranda in that category, too, because he was healthy last year. His shoulder was good, but he had 2 years where he wasn't himself.
No, I want to throw something out of America out here.
Okay.
That I learned last night. I'm at a high school hockey game.
Here we go.
All right. And I'm sitting with my friends, and they said, their child said, man, my foot, I feel like I had a broken bone in my foot, an extra bone. And his mom's like, come on. Her mom's like, come on, give me a break. Their daughter plays catcher on the high school baseball team, but she plays on the boys' hockey team. All right? So she says, I feel like I got a broken bone in my foot, an extra bone. And her mom's like, give me a break. So they take her to the doctor, and sure enough, hockey players find out about this extra bone that 4 to 21% of people have, because all the cutting they do and maneuvering they do on their feet, they sometimes break this bone or injure this bone that most of us don't even know is in our foot. You have to be either 4 to 21% of people have this bone, an extra bone in your foot. Look it up, people. I know you're looking it up. And you know I'm right.
Dr. Reynolds has spoken.
What's the key to keeping guys healthy? They take your blood, spin
right?
it,
Yeah,
shoot
I
it back
mean-
into the injury.
Sounds weird.
I made you look it up, though, and you were
yeah,
like,
you
holy
did.
smokes.
You did. There's something there. I
can't pronounce all the doctor terms, but look it up.
It's like that's whatever the scientific term for extra bone in your foot.
Yes.
Leading to plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. It's good that Carlos Correa is feeling good. He's a super important player. I think we've lost sight as to his magnitude and his impact because when he's not on the field, we don't talk about guys when they're not on the field. This is one of the great players in the sport.
Yeah, and he plays a great game. I mean, relay throws, hitting. So often we think it's just offense we look at, right? But it's his all-around game, his instincts, picking guys off, all the things he does, amazing.